So you want to pack the most performance in a small screen size and do it on the cheap. That's what this offers, the Titan Army P2510S. It's a 24.5-inch monitor designed for esports gaming, and what makes it interesting is that it's a 1440p display with a 240Hz refresh rate, all for under $300. I've put an affiliate link in the description below. In full disclosure, Titan Army did send me this loaner to review, but they're not paying me to make this video, and all opinions are my own. Now, Titan Army isn't the biggest name in gaming monitors. I actually hadn't heard of them before doing this review, but they've been growing in popularity due to their budget-friendly options. And the P2510S, released in 2024, is one of their flagship models. It packs a lot in a small package, a QHD 240Hz IPS panel, and promises top-tier performance at an affordable price. But does it deliver? Let's find out. Starting with design and build quality, the P2510S is pretty lightweight. It's only about 7 pounds, and it comes with everything you need in the box to set it up. There's no screws here, just a stand and mount which click into place, so this could be a great portable option if you need to take it on an event or ship it as a last-minute purchase. Now, the trade-off here for high performance is that everything is cheap plastic. The mount and stand are kind of flimsy. They do the job, but you can only tilt the monitor up and down. There's no side-to-side or height adjustments here. There is a VESA mount on the back, which I'd recommend using if this is going to be your daily driver. And on the bottom, you get 2 HDMI 2.0 ports, 2 display ports, and a headphone jack. To keep costs down, they didn't include USB ports or speakers, so keep that in mind. The screen has a matte finish, and the bezels are minimal. It's not quite edge to edge, but it does have a nice clean look. One thing I do like is they didn't overdo the branding. It has a nice clean Titan Army logo on the front, and that's it. There's no obnoxious RGB lights or anything else flashy here. One thing I do want to call out is the menu structure. It's very different from what you see with most monitors. And I kind of like the green futuristic design, but navigating the menu with the 4 buttons on the bottom is kind of a pain, and it's not very intuitive. It does take some getting used to, especially if you need to adjust the volume with headphones, as that setting is a few clicks away. For design and build quality, it gets a 3 out of 5. Now let's talk about picture quality. It's a 24.5-inch IPS panel with 1440p or 2K resolution. Now, 25-inch QHD monitors aren't very common. Most QHD displays are 27 inches, but what that means is you're going to get a higher pixel density with a smaller screen size like this, at 120 ppi versus 109 ppi in a 27-inch display, so it does look a bit sharper in this smaller size. Like any IPS display, you are limited in viewing angle. This monitor looks best head on. If you do look at it from the side, it will start to appear washed out, so I wouldn't recommend this as a second display. The contrast ratio is 1000:1, which is on par with being an IPS display, and the colors are highly saturated, covering up to 95% of the DCI P3 spectrum, which is honestly very good at this price point. It's not super bright though. Most tests have this maxing out at 300 nits, which does limit its HDR capabilities. Yes, this monitor does support HDR10, but there are some caveats here. You're gonna have to put it into Game Plus mode, which limits the resolution to 1080p. And this also means you can't manually adjust picture brightness and contrast in menu. You're gonna have to do that in game. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the HDR on this monitor because with limited brightness, to me, it just looks like the saturation and brightness are cranked way up in HDR mode. You can see the comparison here with the standard picture mode versus HDR. I much prefer the standard display mode here, and personally, I think it just looks best if you keep the settings on standard straight out of the box. For overall picture quality, it gets a 3 out of 5. Okay, let's talk about performance. This has a 240Hz refresh rate, which is shockingly good at this price point. This monitor is designed for competitive gaming, and it absolutely delivers. Combined with a 1 millisecond response time, precise overdrive, and adaptive sync support for G-Sync and FreeSync, this monitor is built for speed, and there's a lot of options here you can tweak to get your desired gameplay experience. The motion blur is almost non-existent. It's very, very slight, but much better than most monitors you're gonna find at this price point. I didn't really notice any ghosting or issues with screen tearing or artifacts either. Now, while 240Hz is very good, we are starting to see monitors offering 360Hz and even 540Hz becoming more commonplace and more affordable with response times under 1 millisecond. So for performance, it gets a 4 out of 5. Finally, let's talk about value. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5 here because it's one of the only monitors to offer a combination of 240Hz and 2K resolution in this display size. And it does it for a great price. There are better monitors for every category that we discussed, sure, but for the price, it's one of the best in its class. So do I think the Titan Army P2510S is worth it? Adding up all the scores, it gets an overall 3.75 out of 5 rating. For the price, I think it's a bit of a hidden gem. It's got fantastic speed, solid picture quality, and ultra low input lag, all for under $300. Sure, it's not the best build quality, and it's missing some nice to have features like USB ports, but for pure gaming performance, I think it's a great option. Most other 240Hz monitors in this size are limited to 1080p, so this is really one of the only options you have if you want to stay at this size and get 1440p resolution. If you want a bare bones high refresh gaming display in a compact size that won't break the bank, this is definitely one worth considering. Thanks for watching this review. If you want to see more reviews like this one, you can like and subscribe and let me know what you think down in the comments.